If you're watching this right now, it probably means you're one of the millions of people who haven't finalized their Medicare Advantage choice for 2026, and you're wondering if you should make a change before the clock runs out. So before we dive in, let me ask you something simple. Comment your name and state below. I'd love to see who's watching and benefiting from these videos. And don't be shy, I respond to as many of you as I can. Now listen, this is the last week of AEP. And I know you've probably been hearing that phrase over and over, last week, last chance, last opportunity. But the truth is, this really is your final window. December 7th is the deadline. After that, for most people, the door shuts. And whatever you picked, or whatever you stayed with by default, is what you're living with for all of 2026. Unless you qualify for a special enrollment, which most people don't. So this is the week where little decisions make big impacts. And I want to walk with you through the things that changed, the things that matter, and the things you should be double-checking before you lock in your plan. And I also want to calm the stress a little bit. Because right now, so many seniors are overwhelmed. I had a woman from Arizona tell me, I feel like every plan looks great until I start reading the fine print, and then everything starts looking terrible. And you might feel exactly like that. The reason is simple, plans have changed more in 2026 than most people expected. Benefits shifted, networks changed, star ratings shook up again, drug coverage is different, and yes, dental benefits in Medicare Advantage have changed in a way that surprised a lot of people. I'll talk about that deeper as we go because it matters more this year than the last several. But let's start with something simple. The most dangerous assumption people make in the final week of AEP is the belief that, if my plan worked fine in 2025, it's probably fine in 2026. I want you to hear me clearly, this is the single biggest mistake I see every year. And this year, especially for 2026, that assumption is costing people hundreds or even thousands. For example, a gentleman from Ohio emailed me last week. He stayed on the same plan for 4 straight years because he felt comfortable with it. Never looked at the changes. Never reviewed the ANOC. He thought everything was pretty much the same. In 2024 he paid $0 for his primary visits. In 2025 he was still paying $0. But in 2026, his copay suddenly jumped to $20. Why? Because his plan quietly changed several cost-sharing amounts. But he didn't know that until he went to the doctor and got hit with the bill. And the worst part? He didn't make a switch during AEP, so now he's stuck with that plan for the entire year unless he qualifies for a special election. This is why awareness during this week is absolutely essential. Now let's move into what's actually changed for 2026. Many of these aren't minor updates, these are things that directly affect your wallet, your care, and your confidence. We'll start with something everyone asks about, costs. In 2026, we're seeing some plans quietly increase copays on specialists, hospitals, and certain outpatient procedures. The premiums in many states are still technically $0 for a lot of Advantage plans, but the catch is in the cost sharing. And that's where most people overlook the details. A plan can stay $0 on the front end and still become more expensive for you. Another big shift that caught many by surprise is the drug coverage formulas. Many plans completely changed the tiers of commonly used medications. Drugs that were Tier 2 last year are Tier 3 this year. Some drugs that used to cost $0 for certain enrollees are now $5 or $10. Not enough for people to panic, but enough to add up across the year. A gentleman in Florida told me last month, it's just $10, but $10 every month for 3 medications is $360 a year. And he's right, these small shifts matter, especially for retirees on fixed incomes. Now let's talk about something that almost every person asks during AEP, the dental benefits in Medicare Advantage. And yes, 2026 is a year where dental changed in important ways. Plans are still offering dental, but the structure is different for many carriers. What I'm seeing from plan designs across multiple major companies is this: dental is still included, but more of the benefits are tied to allowances rather than fully covered services. Many plans moved away from fully covering things like extractions, crowns, or dentures. Instead, you get a certain dollar amount, maybe $1,500, maybe $2,000, and you choose how to spend it. That can be a good thing for some people, but it also means you may end up paying more out of pocket if your dentist charges higher rates or isn't in the network. Another thing that changed in 2026 is the provider networks. This might be the biggest shock for many people because they don't realize their doctor is leaving their plan until after January. Some networks expanded, which is great. But others shrank. Some hospitals that were in-network for years suddenly became out-of-network. And the last week of AEP is the time people discover it by accident when they go to schedule an appointment and hear, your plan won't cover this location next year. That is one of the worst surprises. And it's something I deeply want you to avoid. Another shift for 2026 is the star ratings. Many plans that were 4 stars dropped to 3.5 or 3. Some jumped higher. But the drop in some areas means fewer benefits funded through quality bonuses. And that's exactly why some plans lost certain perks: fewer flex cards, reduced vision allowances, reduced dental allowances, and less coverage for transportation or over-the-counter benefits. People don't realize that star rating changes affect benefits. So when a plan drops from 4.5 stars to 3.5 stars, something is usually going to shrink. It's not always obvious, but it's there. Now let's talk about real-life scenarios because this is where decisions become clear. Imagine 2 seniors living in the same neighborhood. One checks their plan every year, and the other never does. The one who checks spends maybe 20 minutes reviewing benefits, seeing if their doctor is still in the network, and comparing drug costs. They catch the increases early and switch to a plan that saves them $300 next year. The person who doesn't review anything? They might end up paying that $300 out of pocket, or worse, lose their dental benefits mid-year when they suddenly realize their dentist isn't covered anymore. Same neighborhood. Same Medicare options. One tiny decision made all the difference. And that's what this week is for, avoiding the surprises that hit in March, June, or September next year. Now here's something personal I want to share. When I talk to people during AEP, there's always this feeling of pressure in their voice. They say, I don't want to make the wrong choice. And I always tell them the same thing: the wrong choice is the one you never look at. The dangerous choice is the one you don't review. Medicare Advantage plans aren't scary, ignoring changes is scary. And the companies count on you not paying attention. They know that confusion keeps people from switching. But here's the truth: you don't have to switch to stay safe. You just have to know what you're staying with. This week, right now, is the moment where you check your doctors, check your prescriptions, check your benefits, and make sure you're not sleepwalking into 2026 with a plan that quietly changed behind your back. I also want to talk briefly about the emotional side of Medicare because this week brings out a lot of stress for people. You're not just picking a plan. You're picking how your year is going to feel. Are you going to feel confident when you go to the doctor? Are you going to feel secure about your medications? Are you going to feel supported if you need help? These aren't numbers on paper, these are real feelings that come from real experiences. And the wrong plan doesn't just cost money, it causes anxiety. A woman from California told me something that stuck with me. She said, I don't mind paying a few dollars more. I mind feeling like I'm fighting my insurance all year. And that's the emotional truth behind AEP. You're not just picking benefits, you're picking peace of mind. And peace of mind always starts with clarity. Now let's bring this back to the most important point of this entire video, December 7th. That date matters more than anything else right now. After December 7th, you can't change your Medicare Advantage plan unless you qualify for a special enrollment period or you use the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period starting in January. But remember, that only lets you switch from one MA plan to another MA plan, or back to original Medicare with a drug plan. It does not let you pick from the full list again like AEP does. So AEP is your big opportunity. It's your main chance. It is the most flexible switching window of the year. And it is ending in just a few days. So let me speak directly to you if you've been putting it off. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to become a Medicare expert. You just need to check a few simple things. Is your doctor in the network? Are your prescriptions still covered the same? Did the costs change? Did the dental, vision, or hearing benefits change? Did the star rating drop? Did the hospital network change? These are simple but powerful questions. And they are the difference between a good year and a frustrating year. As we wrap up, I want you to remember something important. You deserve confidence in your healthcare. You deserve clarity. You deserve a plan that supports you, not surprises you. And you deserve to go into 2026 knowing you made the best decision for your health, your wallet, and your peace of mind. That's why I make these videos, not to scare you, but to empower you. So if you haven't done your review yet, this is your reminder. This week is your window. December 7th is the deadline. And once that door closes, it closes. Don't leave your 2026 up to chance. Take this last week seriously. Make the call, check the website, contact your agent if you have one, or ask your questions in the comments. I'm here to help you. And no matter what you choose, I want you to go into next year feeling calm, confident, and protected. Before you go, remember to comment your name and state below. I love seeing where all of you are tuning in from. And if this video helped you at all, even just a little, hit that like button so YouTube shows it to more people who need it this week. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay informed, and take care of yourself, because you matter.